Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Hamam and I go by Outreach, and today I'm going to give you a little bit of a walkthrough slash breakdown of how I made How Could I Stay. It's a collab with Love and Anna Marie. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below, and yeah, just give it a listen, and here we go. So, now we're in the project, and here, as you can see, I have everything labeled just so it's a little easier to see this. So this is all the synths and instruments pretty much. I have the guitars separated just because they were kind of an important part, so I just wanted to just talk about those a little um, down here separately. And this is just 3 layers of bass, just kind of layered together in one stem. I just didn't want to have everything stemmed out separately just because it would take forever to load this project and it might not have been open. And just down here we have all of our percussion layers, and over here we have some more effects. By effects I'm talking like sweep up, sweep downs, little like background sounds that are just more ambient, I guess. And right here we have all of the vocals. Let's get started with what I'd consider, I guess, the most important layer of the entire track, and that's these vocal chops. They drive the entire melody of the track, and this is the first layer of the vocal chops. This is the second layer of the chops. And this is what they sound like together. We also have this reverse piano right under them, and it's pan left to right. That piano is actually from a contact library called Una Corda. It's really cool. I love using it. I definitely recommend it if you guys couldn't get your hands on it. Then into the verse. The verse consists of this really thin piano layer. Then this pad right under it. And this pad right here that comes into this section. And that is most of the elements, most of the main elements in the verses. But now if we're going to talk about the drop has this drop pad right here. So it's kind of dirty and really distorted, but as well as the same pad from the verses plays right on top of it, along with the pianos and the vocal chops as well. And then right after, as we get out of the drop, comes in this little piano melody right here. It's a really wet and reverb piano. This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like in the song. And then as we get into the second verse, we have these wobbly chords that come in. This is what they sound like in the song. And then we have these strings that come in right here. And they're really subtle, actually, so if you listen to the entire track, you can barely hear them. So they're just there to kind of fill up the space. Now, one last layer that I haven't talked about is this little piano fill, or sorry, not piano fill, it's like a little melody fill. It's this really portamento lead that sounds like this. And that just kind of plays every once in a while at the end of an 8-bar, and that helps it transition into the next section. Yeah, so that is pretty much most of the elements when it comes to synths and instruments. And let's get into the basses. So for the basses, there's actually 3 layers, but I don't show them here. They're just in one stem. But it's a sub that plays in the verses. I'm not sure if you can hear that on your speakers. But, so there's a really quiet sub that just plays, but then the low end pops out a lot more in the drop, just because I wanted to for the listener, I want them to feel a difference in how hard the drop hits in comparison to a verse. So this is what the basses and the drop sound like. Yeah, so the drop, there is a sub, mid bass, and a higher end layer that kind of adds a really distorted and gritty sound to it. Now, onto the guitars. For the guitars, we have a couple of layers going on here. We can start with these two. They come in as soon as the verse kind of starts. It's just a background melody. So, in the verses, what do they sound like? And it's built of these 2 layers. This one's a little higher. Then this one is quieter and has the highs a bit ducked. So we have those in the background, and then this stem comes in right about here at the chorus, and it drives the entire chorus. Love you, but I can't breathe, I know. And that's a contact guitar from Strummed Guitars, I believe. So this part kind of drives the entire chorus. It's the main instrument, so that's why it's just out loud right under the vocals. And then right into the drop, we actually continue with these strummed guitars. They're louder than how they were in the chorus. But also on top of that, we have a right and a left guitar, and you can see it here. So it's playing the guitar note, the chord notes, and really distorted. This is the left one. So together, along with this, and there's this one stem right here. It's just a little strum right before the drop. So if you can hear it, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. It goes right under the fill. Again, you want to add thickness to everything throughout your song. Alright, so we can get started with the percussion right now. So for the percussion, we have the drop kick right here. So this is a really distorted kick. It helps it pop through the mix when it's got a bit of highs in it. And right under it, we have a snare. So there's a little fill right there. I usually add a little bit of variation every 4 bars or every 4 beats even sometimes. Again, you just don't want to keep the same loop all over and over. And then this is another layer of snare. This layer just kind of thickens everything up. This is actually the main snare. I'd say that's more of a support snare. And right here we have a fill layer of toms. Here it is soloed. so they're really distorted and reverbed. They're more in the background, so it's not that super. It doesn't really, you can't really hear the distortion too much. Right here we have the stem. That's a mix of impacts and sweep ups with snares. I do this quite often in my tracks where I have a sweep up before a snare hit. It just keeps things interesting and moving. We also have this layer of hi-hats. You can hear them panning quite a bit, and I chop them up in, it's actually a loop I'm pretty sure that I found somewhere and just chopped it up a little bit. In the verse as well, right here we have a snap. Talk a bit about the verse, I guess, now. Yep, so it's just a bit of has along with a snap. Right here there's a clap that goes right under it. And then this is a top loop, actually a cymatics top loop right here. Putting it together. These are panned claps that are offbeat. It goes left and right. You can hear it right here. You can hear it together now. And then there's the verse kick, which is different than the drop kick. And then this kick kind of comes back, and along with the hats in the build-up, in the second part of the drop, this top loop comes in. And then let's talk about the second verse. The second verse's percussion is really interesting, and Will Love did a really sick job with this. So we have the same snaps, the clap, the top loop, along with the kick right here. The kick pattern is a little different, and right under that he put quite a bit of percussion that's kind of swung, has a swung feel to it. This is this layer. I'll solo it, I guess. And there's a snap slash clap right here. And there's this percussion line that's super interesting. It's like a really distorted, I think it's like some sort of tom or something, but together this is what they sound like. And if you play that with the rest of the verse, again, it's really interesting. It's not a boring loop. Kind of keeps you listening, I guess. It's the right way to do it. Okay, yes, so that's pretty much most of the, that is everything. Yeah, that's every single stem. And now let's move. One thing I didn't show you guys are these tambourines that play right here. You can hear them just twice. They don't happen often. Right here. Yeah. Yeah, that's it for the percussion. Now let's move on to the effects. Alright, so now for the effects, we have this hit right here that just kind of goes under the vocal chops and everything. And it comes in quite a few times actually, right here, and right here. We also have a bit of static noise, like vinyl noise with a sweep up right here. We've got a little reverse vocal thing, an impact. It's just like a bit of everything. These are chimes that kind of come in right here. And this is, I'll just, so you can hear these, how these show up in the track.
Love you, but I can't
really faint and subtle in the background. I also have this effect, like a clock effect, in the track. So subtle you can barely hear it, but it adds more texture to the verse. And a little bit more stuff here. This has a bit of hats as well that I accidentally stemmed out together, and I just didn't want to go back through it. It comes in here. Also, what is this one? Oh yeah, it's the same one. Okay, so that is pretty much all the effects through here. Some more vinyl effects, more sweep ups. Yeah, this is a little riser. That's pretty much it for the effects. And let's get to the vocals. Alright, let's get started with the vocals. So for the vocals, right away you'll be able to tell that for every section it has different numbers of layers, and that's because certain sections for this specific track are meant to do different things, are meant to feel in different ways. So for example, the chorus, I wanted it to be to hit significantly differently than the verse when it comes to the vocals. The chorus is really wide and thick here for me. So it consists of quite a few layers, and this is the main stem, which is wet, and then right under it is a chorus. I keep calling it a chorus. Is actually the same stem, except it is very dry. And then here we have a low harmony, mid harmony, and the high harmonies. This is what they sound like together. And right here we have a vocoder layer. This is what everything sounds like together for the chorus. And in the verse, right here, we actually just have these couple of layers. This one's quieter and softer. This one is the louder main one. This one is more of an effect, really, that just drives into the verse. Yes, so it's like a really low pass and pitched up vocal. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It just kind of repeats over here. I don't want to get too in depth with this. It's already long enough, but in the verse as well, I guess I can show you here. You have this stem with this stem right under it, and then you have these two harmonies right under. This is what they sound like together. So that is it. That is every single stem in this project. One last thing is that you'll see a lot of automation is not shown here just because it's in stems, but there's quite a bit of automation that goes into it just to create the variations, like filters or certain frequencies that are being cut out in certain sections and whatnot. But yeah, anyways, so I hope that you've learned a little bit from this. If you guys have any questions or you want me to go more in depth into anything specific, please leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think of this. Maybe I'll do a couple more in the future. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later.